Hey guys, it's Katie from Shire Ranch. Today I am going to do a garden tour because I haven't done one in about a month. So let's see what's going on. So I have my raised beds behind me, and we have most of our tomatoes, like kitchen garden-y stuff, in here. So let's take a look at the tomatoes. We actually have like a ton of tomatoes coming on, and we are just waiting for them to turn red. So we have 3 different varieties of tomatoes. In this bed here are the Amish paste, and then over here, and they're actually starting to get stripy, are the speckled Romans. And then I've actually been eating on these for a week or two now. We have our Sun Gold cherry tomatoes, and they are absolutely delicious. And then in front of the tomatoes, I have mini bell peppers. They're so adorable. And then behind the mini bells are Yankee bell peppers. And then next to the bell peppers, we have our jalapenos. And they actually have quite a few on there. And then because I ran out of places to plant, I put cucumbers in the front that are just going to spill over. And that is fine. And then on the first bed, the Amish paste bed of tomatoes, in front of them I have the red rocket peppers. And I thought I had some that had some. There was one. I knew there was one in here. So this is one of the red rocket ones. And we have more coming on. And then in front of those, because I had no other place to put all the cucumbers I started. Cucumbers. And then next to the red rocket are the jalapenos. And they're doing all right. They got a little bit of stuff on them. And then across from the herb beds, or the tomato beds, we have more of an herb bed. And I have calendula and flat leaf parsley and lots of basil. I have two different places with sweet basil, and then I have Thai basil over here. I love Thai basil. And then calendula. And my arugula is kind of going to seed. It looks sad. That's okay. The echinacea is doing all right. It's not growing super fast, but it's growing. And then our sage. Some Swiss chard going on here. And in our other bed, this is kind of just the mashup bed. It was like the early spring bed, but now it has some nasturtiums, and I have a cucumber plant, and it is loaded with cucumbers. Actually, there's lots of cucumber plants in here, but they are loaded with cucumbers down in here. Some marigolds, some carrots that are on their last leg, some more basil. Okay, and the last thing for our raised beds is the cilantro, which is now coriander because it's gone to seed. So we'll pull that and harvest those to use as coriander. We actually do have a cilantro here that is still cilantro-y. Then on the patio, we just have random pots growing things. We have some chocolate mint that is doing amazingly, and tons of zinnias. And I really am loving the pink ones. There's a bee right there. I am really loving the pink ones because I don't like super love the color pink, but I have so many orange and yellow flowers. It's just such a great contrast. Then I have more stuff that needs to be planted eventually. Some echinacea, and this chocolate mint I rooted for someone, and it needs to be picked up. And Then I have my elderberries that I split yesterday. They were all in one pot, which I don't recommend waiting that long, but I did. And we have our other corner where we have some more sweet basil, some Swiss chard that's getting eaten, and our wild grape rooting experiment. Some more some thyme, jewelweed, be just cuz, and my lavender. And then I'm pretty sure this is my favorite part of the patio, is because it's just so amazing. This was grown, this is a peach tree. It was grown from a peach pit of a batch of peach jam we made from a batch of peach jam that we made in 2019, and now it's a little tree, and it's adorable. This is a project you guys will see. These are the shutters. I got that paint sprayer you guys saw in the last video. This is the project I'm doing with it, so you'll see a video on that soon. Then over here we have some more calendula and a hydrangea, and the calendula is looking fantastic and has so many more buds on it. It's just gonna bloom all summer. I'll put in a clip of it, but this is our blackberry bush. Last week it was basically almost swept away by another rainstorm. But it does have some new growth on it. It does have some bug problems, but that's okay. We're dealing. I've had a few blackberries off of it. Some are still waiting to ripen. So let's go check on the elderberries and the big garden. So let's do the big garden first. Bless you. I know it's hot. Okay, so we made it to the big garden, and here it is in all its glory. When we first come in, we have our heavily stunted corn. I'm not sure why it's so stunted. We have theories, but it's just a sad looking year for corn. And then next to the corn, we have more marigolds and calendula. And I need to tie these up, but these are cantaloupes. Oh, we got some baby cantaloupes. Look at those. They're all fuzzy and cute. Oh, and another baby cantaloupe. Cool. In front of the corn, I have some dill that's going to seed, some more marigolds, just kind of to attract any pollinators and stuff. Okay, opposite the corn, let's go back to the front of the garden. Our lima beans are slowly growing. I don't think I've seen any pods on them, but I haven't checked super thoroughly. I will tell you right now, I can't remember if I said it in another video, but if you're gonna have rows, trellised rows, they need to be further apart than 2 feet. It's like, I'm small, but it's still difficult for me to manage. So let's see if we can find some bean pods. So these are, I think I said, these are the lima beans. Let's see. There we go. These are the lima beans. So I have like basically 3 rows of lima beans. And then 2 rows of pinto beans. And the cucumbers that are out here wants to hang out with the beans. And I'm looking to see if I see any real quick. I don't from here. I'll do a better check later tonight. here is our row of cucumbers. It is doing awesome. We are having an amazing cucumber year, I feel like. And then these are more cantaloupe. So this is a row, this whole row is cantaloupe. And then half of the row next to it is cantaloupe too. The other half are tomatoes. So these are where all our extra tomatoes ended up. And we already have some sun golds that are ready. So the 2.5 rows, the first 2.5 rows back here of tomatoes are from ones that we grew from seed, so the same varieties as our raised beds. And then a friend gave me a bunch of his tomatoes that he's grown, tomato plants that he grew from seed. They're beefsteak varieties. And dude, look at the size of this one in particular, but I'll show you another one because this one is starting to turn. Look at the size of that. Like, that is huge. And then I'm straddling over peppers right now. Look at this one. Like, it's also ginormous. So I didn't grow beefsteak even though I love them, because we just don't eat a lot of them. Like, we don't have burgers that often, or BLTs. I'm backing up, guys, sorry. We don't have burgers or BLTs that often, so it doesn't make sense to grow like a bunch of beefsteak tomatoes. I guess we could do one plant, but it's like then you're buying seeds and then, anyways. I like this whole like trading thing that I got going. So next to the tomatoes are our peppers, and these are all the extra pepper plants that we had that didn't fit in the raised beds. And there's some Mini Bell, Yankee Bell, and there's a few of those red rocket peppers out here, and these plants out here are absolutely loaded with the red rocket peppers. And I'm pretty sure these taller ones on this row are jalapenos, and then the shorter ones are jalapenos. That's not what I really want to mix up. I did do I made notes for myself, so I will figure it out. Then we have, these are the sugar pie pumpkins. So like the mini pumpkins. We got a baby pumpkin there. I don't know if we have any more baby pumpkins just yet. At least on these plants. And we have watermelon growing with some baby watermelons. Actually quite a few, which makes me very happy. Moving on from the watermelon, we have our winter squash. So this squash we actually grew just for the chickens. Like, I will try to eat it. I'm sure I'll make some like squash soup or something, at least for myself. But these are called Jester squash, and they are looking so gorgeous. It's so much fun to watch things grow. And we have 2 rows of that. And then I'm pretty sure that's a pumpkin that got mixed in with my Jester squashes. Then we have some more cantaloupes that are growing, that are just sprawling on the ground. I don't know if there's any baby cantaloupes on these. I don't think there are. And then in the back of the garden, we have our potato bed. We've always grown potatoes in containers, at least like at this house. And they're always really small, so I decided to plant them in ground and to not really hill them all that much, just try it. So we're gonna see what happens. So we're just letting them grow. All these potatoes were from store-bought potatoes that sprouted. That tends to happen in our kitchen a lot. So hopefully it gets to the point where we're like just producing our own potatoes. And then this is like one of the coolest flowers ever. This is bee balm. That is the first side of the garden, and we got about a quarter of the front half of the other side. So let's start from the back of this garden, of the other side. So a couple days ago, we had a load of wood chips delivered. It is in our front yard. I will show you a clip of that now. And I am wheelbarrowing it load by load back here to put on top of our dirt, and also just kind of store it back here. Okay, so in the back, more calendula, more marigold, calendula, marigold, calendula, catnip. I love catnip, and look at all the bees. Like, they are on here all day, just like pollinating and doing their job. Oh, and there's a bumblebee. Some more dill, some more marigolds, and then I'm walking right into my pumpkin patch. So there actually are baby pumpkins on here. There's a few that I know of. So we'll take a look at them. So here's one of our baby pumpkins. So these are jack-o'-lantern. I'm pretty sure all of these jack-o'-lantern ones were grown from seeds we saved from our jack-o'-lanterns we carved. And then here is another one. Okay, and our onions, they're all going to seed. These are second-year onions that are going to seed. I already harvested pretty much all of our first-year onions. They were relatively small. And we have some more baby pumpkins going on here. There's some pumpkins that got mixed in with our, well, zucchini got mixed in with our pumpkins, I guess, is how we're going to put it. So the first two plants here are zucchini, and then after that is all pumpkins. And these were planted relatively recently. That's why they're not as big as the others. And then more zucchini. And we've already harvested a fair bit of zucchini. So that is the big in-ground garden, so mostly like fieldish crops and then the extras. Let's go take a look at the elderberries and the chicken coop flower bed. Come on, Gimli, let's go. So I need to weed eat around here and mulch again, but these are half of our elderberries, or so, about half. Some are doing better than others. This one is really tiny, but it's still alive, so I still hold out hope. I need to weed around it and mulch. And then on the other side, we have the rest of our elderberries. And most of these, we did lose one, but we still have one. We have one this one's really sad, but it is still here, so that's good. That one's looking good. Some are looking better than others, but this one, like closest to the chicken coop, is amazing. Like, this is amazing. Let's see, I'll back up so you can kind of see it better. Like, it's huge. It's awesome. All right, and here is the chicken coop flower bed. Look at those. They've got to be like 12 feet tall. Like, I swear. Okay, maybe not quite that tall, but like, they are huge. So we have our mammoth mix sunflowers. And then down here, we have little teddy bear sunflowers, teddy bear dwarf sunflowers. Like, look at the size of the stalks on some of these. That's crazy. And then Rudbeckia. Rudbeckia is gorgeous. I love the color. And I have buried in here some echinacea. And then behind the jungle are the chickies. And then in the front yard we have a pile of wood chips. More chocolate mint. I have a lot of chocolate mint because it grows really easily, and there's really no reason not to grow it. So let's see, what else do we have? We don't really have much edible stuff in the front yard. This was all landscaped when we got the house. I have some rosemary that are doing amazingly, and more calendula. Alright guys, that is our July garden tour. We have a lot growing. A lot of things are doing well, some things aren't. Some of it's just a waiting game. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of what we do around our homestead, hit the subscribe button and follow us on Instagram. And until next time guys, bye!